Live from Ireland's forecourts in Arlington, Virginia, your newly crowned America's Best Soccer Bar 2025-26, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's a special celebratory taping of Men in Blazers live show, going deep on all things World Cup 2026. We're going to talk tonight with a man who's played in 3 of them. 4 quarters, welcome to your stage. A gent who knows what it's like to carry the hopes of a nation on his shoulders and to deliver 141 caps, team high 57 goals. No one has scored more on the men's side. First men's player in our nation to score in 3 different World Cups. It's a joy and a personal privilege, I'll be honest, to call him a friend and welcome one of America Soccer's Mount Rushmore faces to talk about this moment of wonder and chaos for football in our nation. And then after that, he will take your questions from the audience. 4 courts, please be upstanding for the Bass Assassin, it's Mr. Clint Dempsey! Hard-hitting questions first.
All right.
Straight at the top, Clint Dempsey's perfect soccer bar. What's one food item you're going to be eating? What's one bar game that has to be there, like pool or darts or air hockey?
Yeah.
And what's the one artist you'll be putting on the jukebox?
Okay, artist, since I'm from Texas, got to be George Strait.
Do we have a song?
Food, dang, that's a tough one. I would say Amarillo by Morning. Yeah! I like that song.
Clint asked me the same question. I said, it's got to be Don't Tread
Oh,
by
hell
Clint
no.
Dempsey. Yeah! Am I right?
I don't know if you'll listen to that, but food, I'd say wings. You got to have some good wings.
Can we have for wings? I love America.
And then what was the other question we need to?
I can't even remember. It was the best game. The game.
Oh, I like playing pool. So pool table. But you gotta show a little love to darts. So I'm cultured now. I played in England for a little bit, so we got to throw some darts in there too.
Do you never play Jimmy Bullard at darts?
No, I haven't.
Never played that much. Are you like a pool shark, Clint?
No. I'm not saying any of that.
Throw the first game to like something.
No. I wish I was better at those games, but they're always fun.
If only Clint was good at a certain game, life would have been just feel for this.
Can't have it all, I guess.
Clint, we're going to talk about an incredible time in American football history. The World Cup is currently 51 days away, but who is counting? Feels like the best of times. We've dreamed of this tournament. It is. It's also the worst of times. There's so many challenges. There's so many unknowns on the field and off the field. Crap you not, I dreamed last night. Like my wife's always like, you have the most obvious stress dreams. I dreamt last night that we lost to Paraguay in the opening game. And genuinely, I woke up.
That's not a dream, it's a nightmare.
It is.
Come on.
Clinton, I'd snapped back up. I was staying at the very nice Le Meridian in Virginia, at Reston, Virginia. I snapped up. I was like, oh my God, we're going to get grouped. And then I was like, it's a dream. We're then going to take your questions when we're done with this. So get them ready for Clint to ask him anything, fire away, start thinking now. But Clint, we're going to dive into 6 burning questions that currently hover over this US team as we attempt to march to glory, aka not get grouped in my dreams. First of all, I mean, you're all stressed too, right? We are in the Washington, D.C. area, Clint. When you think of this city, what immediately comes to mind for you?
Good memories, battles with the Revolution versus DC United, and some good games with the national team.
Good game. Anyone in particular that was here?
I don't know. We beat Germany here before, so that was a good game.
Is anybody here at that game? June 2nd, 2013. Germany roll into town to play Clint in the US. Final score, US 4, Germany 3. It was a sweltering day at RFK. US are up 2-1, just past the hour, and this happened.
Thought about a left foot cross shot for a moment there. Ball grabbing is arriving. Dempsey! Dempsey's scoring streak carries on.
By the the way, if anyone knows that man with the drinks, look at that face. look how happy.
He's triple fisted, dude.
It's amazing. 2 for you, Clint, 1 for him. When I saw that, I was like, what is Aaron Rodgers doing at the US Soccer Game? It's genuinely uncanny. That was an incredible piece of team play. How nice is it to hear Ian Dark commentating over the US game? It took me back. We have no time to get into that because 4 minutes later, Clint did this.
Jones to Dempsey. Not much pressure on the ball from the Germans. US still.
Oh, man. There we go.
2 feet.
The crazy thing about that game, fun fact, is the first time anyone was scored in the Hypervenoms that Nike came out with, they sent me a pair of shoes. They're actually too big. I had to wear 2 socks with it. I should have kept wearing those shoes. I guess that was my only mistake that I made. But and anytime you beat a top country like Germany, so and as you can see, had a good crowd. So that was nothing but good memories here.
The good crowd we're going to get back to, because that was also, when I watched that game last night, the buzz, the energy, the optimism, the hope. Those 2 goals, first scored with team play, Josie Altidore doing incredible work down the wing. Second scored with a moment of individual brilliance. God, you loved a inch of separation just to set up the shot. You're like a bloodhound with scent. We've not seen much of them, or not seen enough of them over the past couple of months of our US team. When I watch that footage, well, 2 things stand out. First of all, US beating a European team. We have lost 8 straight games against European opponents, which is, I think about a lot. It's hard to fathom. I think we all do. What will it take to, we just lost Belgium, who smashed us. Portugal didn't even have to get out of second gear. When you took the field against Germany, any European team in those moments, what used to go through your mind in the tunnel when you took the field mentally?
I mean, it was always an opportunity to prove yourself, play against top competition, and represent your country and show that that y'all can play the game at a high level, right? So that's what it was always about, is representing your country and going out there and testing yourself against the best and believing in yourself that you can get it done. I mean, I think a lot of times certain people, they don't truly believe, and I think that's why you don't accomplish more.
You did believe, right? When you took the field, did you ever take the field and not think you were going to win that game?
No, it just wasn't my mentality. I knew it was going to be difficult, and I knew certain games you needed a perfect game to win, like Confederations Cup versus Spain, right? Like, we needed to play a perfect game in order to beat them. They were on like this crazy 20-something game unbeaten run, and we knew we had to be compact defensively, pick and choose our moments when to get forward, but and take when he got opportunities, and not be afraid to sometimes take risk and go up the field. So yeah, that was just my mentality. I don't think anybody that is I would say, like, fighting. If you go into a fight think you're going to lose, you probably will. So you have to make sure that you're prepared, and you're scared of losing, obviously, but at the same time, the work that you're going to put in is what's going to prepare you and give you confidence for when you have those situations.
Oh, amen. And children watching, when you're in a fight in the pool hall, only
over a game of pool.
Yeah. Only newbies try and fight with the pool cues, pick up the balls and throw them. just giving you life advice. Jurgen Clinton said about you, I looked this up, this is really beautiful. Jurgen said, I was going to do my bad Jurgen impression, which sounds like Professor Doofenshmirtz. I nearly did it again. He said it in a Jurgen accent. Having a player like Clint Dempsey on your team is just a privilege. He's got the hunger and the drive. He sends a message to his own players and also to the opponents. I mean, that last phrase is amazing. He sends a message to his own players, critical, but to his opponents, which I think is ultimately for Jurgen the ultimate compliment. Watching your teams, there were so many players on those teams who would lead. Michael Bradley in his own way, DeMarcus Beasley, different kind of leaders, Tim Howard. I think leadership on this team, it's why Poch keeps playing Tim Ream. We played so many football teams where there's, where we played so many times where it feels like we're devoid of leadership at times. When you played on teams that did not have strong leaders in different moments, did you feel that void? Did it feel disorienting when you don't have a field general?
Yeah, I mean, it does, but at the same time, I think leadership also comes from the top, right? To have a manager that you believe in, to have a game plan that y'all can get behind and kind of execute. Also, you need players that when you're in the barracks and you're moving forward, they're not 40, 50 yards behind you. So you need people that are willing to carry their own water and to put the work in that's necessary to win tough games. I mean, away from home, World Cup qualifying matches, just that the cards are stacked against you. You're not going to get certain calls. You're going to have people trying to break your leg, and you're just going to have to fight it out, grind it out, and get a result. So I just think the most successful teams have both. You have to have a coach that you believe in and creating a culture that people feel like if you play well in training that you can get into the first team. I think that creates a competitive and exciting environment for a team. But you also need those captains in big and tough moments when you're going through tough time to help pull people along.
Next big question that was captured by the footage, you've already hit this. I found it quite moving, to be honest, watching the game. I watched it last night, the 40,000 sellout, but also the energy, the noise, just the... I mean that absolutely. It was stunning to watch. Like, you could almost feel the optimism, the hope just crackling around that stadium. We've talked about it in our year of coverage, the US soccer, JT Batson talked about how our national team events should be huge events. There should be parties. There should be celebrations of soccer. We're currently in a place where The Athletic is writing articles that say the US is making progress. The fans it hoped to attract haven't yet noticed. This team still need to light something under America. The turnouts have been tough at times. What do we need to do to get the buzz back around this team?
I mean, I think you got to look at both sides of the coin, right? You have to make it to where it's affordable for people to want to go to the games and not pricing families with kids from being able to go to these events,
and make memories.
But you also have to have a product on the field that make people want to spend the money to go to these games, right? They want to feel like they can identify with people that are on the field and that they're going to fight and give everything that they have. That's, I think, what resonated with some of the fans that we had during the years that I played with this national team. I mean, we've been in a bit of a difficult time, obviously, being part of the 2018, not qualifying for the World Cup, which I was a part of. It was a huge step backward in terms of our development with U.S. But you see them go on and get qualified for the 2022 World Cup, and a lot of those guys, it was their first World Cup and performing well in there. So you're thinking, all right, we're going to shoot on from here and go do something great. We had the CONCACAF Nations League final, I think, when B.J. Callahan was interim manager, and they played really well in that competition. And we're like, okay, hell yeah, this is looking good, right? And then we get to Copa America, Berhalter's back. We're the first host country to never get out of the group. It's never happened in Copa America history. And so everybody was like, oh, hell, this ain't good, because 2 years from now we have the World Cup at home, right? So he was fired. We had Pochettino come in. You have CONCACAF Nations League semifinal versus Panama, and we lose again. So, you have these games that you're trying to, that are more important than normal because you're not having to qualify for the World Cup. So then all you have left after that is Gold Cup. And then in Gold Cup, we don't have all our best players from Europe coming in to be a part of that either. So as a fan, you're probably like, why should I care if our best players don't care, right? Not to say that the players that were in there are not the best players, but you want to have your best available squad to go there and represent your country in a tournament that means something, because you're not having to qualify for the World Cup, and you're trying to get people on board to support the U.S. and be excited about the World Cup that's coming. So it's kind of a precarious time. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I know I'm talking a lot now, and I'll wrap it up. But
no, look, people want to hear this, Clint.
The last 5 games before the Belgium and Portugal game, honestly, was starting to get a little bit excited, because you got the grit that we got from the Gold Cup mixed with some of the talent that we had from players in Europe. and then you're on this run, right? I think you tied Ecuador, you beat Japan, you beat Paraguay, you beat Australia, you beat Uruguay. So it's like, okay, things are starting to look good. It looks like we're going with the back three. We kind of have this like wingback kind of play that we got going on that's giving us our width. Then we get into the Belgium game. We kind of go away from that, but I thought we still played a good first half. And then in the second half, it was like we didn't even come out of the locker room. So you're like, all right, well, look, we got another opportunity against Portugal to go out in front of a big crowd because Atlanta did a great job of the attendance that was at those games. In the first half, I still thought we played good even though we were down 1-0, but to make all those subs at halftime, I really think cheated the fans out of seeing this team. At least let them get to the 75th minute to see if we can get back into the game, right? It almost looked like they didn't really care about the result and managing minutes of players, but it goes back to what I was saying. If they don't care, then why should the fans? And that's not saying that they don't, but that's the vibe I get.
So tonight when I go to bed and I dream about the second game in the World Cup, the loss to Australia, you've just given me all the grist for that dark mill. I want to move to positivity, but I do want to get into some of the hot questions. So big issue number 3. Christian Pulisic is our Lord and Saviour and has been born in a manger in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Has been since he made his debut as a 17-year-old. I love this photo, by the way. Yep. Look at it. Look at him, bro. Oh, it's amazing. Oh.
Come on, man. You gotta have a better photo than that. Come on.
He was 17. He's standing up, by the way, there. He was just going through the changes, as they say. It's amazing. It's such a funny... The way they frame that, I think they've done us all dirty there. I just say, Christian's looking at you and looking at that beard and thinking, maybe in 10 years' time I can do this.
There we go.
It's like a Clint Dempsey tribute band. And why has he done this? He's done it because he's had a hard season, or hard half season. The beginning was ecstatic. I mean, probably the form of his club career, 2026, a brutal dip of form. I mean, he's had a miserable time. 0 goals, 0 assists in 2026. He's like Tottenham Hotspur, but in one player. Sometimes things just slip out.
It's 5 more games. There's 5 more games.
There you go.
5 more games.
Clint, are Tottenham going to be okay?
Man, I don't know. Yes, they are. They got it. They got it.
I'm going to get back to Christian Pulisic. Going to get back to the safe ground of Christian Pulisic. This man here has just slipped on a pair of knuckle dusters, and I'm not quite sure what it means. The reality is, every player has droughts.
Yep.
Sometimes those droughts are fleeting. Sometimes they become deeper. Sometimes they need to rekindle the energy in different ways. When goals didn't come in your career, and every player has those moments, can you describe what it feels like where something that you live to do is not happening, and how did you change it up?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? When things are not going your way, then you start trying too hard, and then it kind of even makes the situation worse. But all you can do is kind of like, if you're still getting chances and you're still getting shots on goal and creating for other people, it's only a matter of time, right? Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. You need a deflection, or you need a ball to, like, maybe you weren't crossing a certain person, but if it went to another person, they got a goal to get you an assist. Anything that you can get to kind of get you back on track. I mean, obviously working hard, getting stuck in, and doing the work that you have to do off the ball. But you just got to keep going and then hoping, that it's right around the corner that something's going to shake. So as long as you're getting chances, and he was doing that in the games that I saw with the U.S., but the crazy stat is he hasn't scored since 2024. So we need to get that fixed quick, and hopefully that'll be against Senegal and Germany.
God willing. I mean, I want to know, does it matter? Ultimately you played in 3 World Cups. You played in many, many tournaments. Does club form, have any bearing when you get together again with that international team and head into a World Cup tournament? Is it its own ecosystem, or does domestic form set the tone for everything that is to come?
I mean, it could be a little bit of both, right? It could be form is what got you confident, and it kind of carries you into the tournament, and you continue to do that. Also, it could be a clean slate, because everybody starts the tournament in the same situation with 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 minutes, and it's an opportunity to change the narrative, right, and have things going well for you again. I mean, when you talk about situations and players maybe not playing all the time, I think back to when Christian was at Chelsea before the Qatar World Cup, being mainly used as a sub. We were worrying about his 90-minute fitness, but I thought he went on to have a strong tournament. He had 1 goal, 2 assists. It was a big part in helping that team get out of the group. For a lot of those guys, it was their first World Cup. So I'm hoping, things will get on track again here. I mean, I'm excited about Balogun, 10 goals in 10 games, what he's been doing at Monaco. So, and we talked about the striker situation in the last World Cup, not having a true number 9, and then now you have more people knocking at that door. Haji Wright with Coventry getting up, winning getting promotion, being part of the team of the season there, and now having that confidence that fully feeling like he earns to be in the Premier League, which he does. And then you got your boy from Texas, Pepe, who's super sub, comes on and makes the difference. But also want to give a special shout out to Ajiman, who got hurt. We appreciate you. We wish you a speedy recovery, and hope to see him on the field again soon.
It's a lot to unpack there. First of all, you made me realise what we can do to help Christian Pulisic get back into the goal-scoring form. I hope he's training on testicling that ball in again, as he did in the World Cup. The only guy who scored with his ball sack, and it was not my testicles, was a real creative press conference. God bless. May you score so many off your down belows that we just get there to glory. But you mentioned Flo Balogun. We've got to mention him. 10 goals, past 10 Monaco games across all competitions. It's incredible to watch him. 24-year-old, 5 times in the Champions League as well. Elite football, elite moments, delivering. When you're on that kind of streak in your career, I was just at the Masters doing some golf stuff, speaking to Green Jackets about what that felt like when they won. And they were like, in that moment when you are in flow state, the hole can feel that big. What does it feel like where you're in that Balogun kind of free flow, where everything you're hitting feels like it's going in?
I mean, it's just one of those things where you feel like you can't do anything wrong. You're not having to overthink what's going to happen. You just feel like you're going to get a chance, and if you get a chance, you're going to score. There's no greater feeling than to be on one of those type of waves, and hope it may continue. I mean, if I'm him, I'd have been really pissed at the Portugal game when they decided not to go with the true number 9 striker. So hopefully that lit a little bit of fire under him, that when he comes back into the U.S. side, or whoever the number 9 may be, that they're looking to show that they can get goals and be a good opportunity to do it against Senegal or Germany as we build towards the World Cup in those last 2 friendlies.
And you mentioned that it was a crazy moment. You got Paul Pogba calling him Balago, which is genuinely so beautiful. And by the way, Pepe should call himself your boy from Texas. I love that. That's his nickname in every regard. We're waiting for Pulisic to rekindle the energy, the hope, the execution. Could you make a case that we should be, ultimately just playing to Balogun's strengths and building a team around that also?
I mean, I don't know if we should necessarily be building a team around one player, but it's important that we get this right, and you don't have much time. There's not many opportunities that you get to have a World Cup on home soil, and all I can kind of go back to is the '94 World Cup, and there wasn't a lot of necessarily buzz around that U.S. team in terms of accomplishments, but to get out of the group they got out of, to beat Colombia, the team that was dominating South American qualifying, to only lose to Brazil 1-0 in the knockout rounds, who goes on to win the World Cup, it really got the country behind the game, and it became the birth of the professional domestic league of MLS. So who's to say what's going to happen from a great World Cup in 2026? I just hope they get together collectively as a team and fight for each other, fight for the fans, and go out there and have no regrets. And hopefully, God willing, stay healthy, no yellow card suspensions. And then Yeah, go on a big run. Why not? Why not? If you don't believe that you can do it, then you shouldn't be there. So why not us?
Why not us? Why not us? Again, in the positive realm, had you right. I do think he's an incredible story. I mean, this is a gentleman who burst onto the scene, seemed destined for greatness, fell off the grid, ended up 7 clubs, 6 different countries, and has just made his Premier League dream come true. As the highest scorer on his team, second highest scorer in the entire league. I am so happy for this man. I think he took a lot of crap last World Cup cycle, to be candid. I think he came on our show and talked about how much it upset him that when Pepe was dropped last minute and he was chosen, felt like he wasn't beloved from the fan base, that the fan base were almost bitter for the Pepe loss and never warmed to him. I mean, my God, watching him be so ferocious in the wake of that, what does it feel like to finally, after you kind of like climbed to the top of that slippery pole and made the Premier League, what does that feel like?
I mean, I'll tell you what, the championship is no joke. I mean, it is a grind. Lots of games, physical. What's up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you know what? You truly earn your way to be in the Premier League, going through the battles that he went through, all the teams that he went through, how well he's performed at Coventry. Truly deserve it. And we're proud of him and happy for him, and looking forward to that battle between him and Balogun to be up top. Or who's to say we don't go with 2 out-and-out strikers? But it's good to have these type of headaches to try to figure out.
God, when you said that, Jurgen Klinsmann, when he played on Tottenham, played on a football team coached by Osvaldo Ardiles, who played 5 strikers, which I'm just thinking about that. Maybe we should try 5 strikers. And if Jurgen was here, he'd shout as he does whenever he tells the story. And it nearly worked, which I just love. I do want to talk about management very quickly. We're going to take your questions in just one moment from this incredibly beautiful audience. But Clint, big issue number 5. Mauricio Pochettino. I adore Poch as a person. I admire so much what he did at Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, just levitation, alchemy, building an incredible club culture. He's arrived. I'd say he's not exactly established himself as a figurehead for football in our nation as I think he wanted when he arrived. But the thing that pains me is you could still stand on Madison Avenue with a photo of him and show it to strangers, and the number of people who would be like, that's our man, and it is not where we want or need it to be. In our soccer bubble, he's known. Outside of it, that opportunity has not been grabbed. And right now, maybe by design, maybe this is the plan. Almost every position in the team feels like there's a question mark by it. There's an uncertainty. Poch's message to us is trust the process. You've played in 3 World Cups. You've experienced different coaches, different methodologies. I mean, is that where we should be right now? Should we just be like, trust the process? These 3 games in the opening round, that's all he should be judged on.
Oh, man. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, if you're a fan, you have the right to question everything because it's what you care about, right? And if you feel like things are not going right, you should speak up and have an opinion. It's difficult to trust the process sometimes when you saw what happened in CONCACAF Nations League, losing in the semifinal to Panama, and then things start to get a little bit better in the Gold Cup in terms of getting to a final at least, but it wasn't the most beautiful play, I would say, watching those games. It wasn't the most exciting. And then you got the 5 games where it looks like everything's starting to click, and then we have what happened in the last 2 friendlies versus Portugal and Belgium, and now we have Senegal and Germany coming up, and you don't want to have a situation where you're going into the World Cup on 4 losses. I mean, it's hard to trust that process. Not to say that's going to happen, but I think it's, I hope it doesn't happen. It's a possibility. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they catch fire and beat Senegal and Germany and get out of the group and go on a massive run. I mean, but not getting out of the group, it will be a complete failure, especially now with having more teams in there. There's no true group of death. You have 8 third-place teams getting out of the group. So instead of a round of 16, you're going to get into a round of 32 first. So if they don't get out of the damn group, boy, I don't know if we can keep doing these shows. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about soccer for a while if that don't happen.
That's Clint's public resignation letter.
Yeah.
They're going to get out the group. I mean, ultimately, I will say it pains me more than I can say that this nation, who have put a man on the moon, we invented the cronut. In our history, we have won one men's knockout game. It is unfathomable to me, and God, if we had a men's team that were half as good as the women's, I would genuinely wonder. So a happy man in this moment. So I want to end on a positive note. This World Cup is crazy. Every World Cup, when you go towards it, there's always a doom cycle. We're definitely in one. It's a strange beast. We're gonna the tickets, the cost of just getting to the stadium on public transport needs a second mortgage. So tell us one thing about this US team. I mean, because we've got so many incredible narratives. There's so many incredible human beings. These are players who have sacrificed so much, given so much, dreamt so much, achieved so much as individuals, yearned so much. When you look at that team, Clint, what's one thing that makes you feel so bloody optimistic for 2026 and the journey ahead?
Well, I'm optimistic about a lot of these guys will be their second World Cup. It's not their first one. So there's a lot of pressure being on a World Cup on home soil. So at least they know what it's like to be in a World Cup and how to get out of a group and get to the knockout rounds. Some bright spots that I've seen over the last few months, I would say, is just Chris Richards, how well he's performed. For sure. I would say Weston McKennie, how well he's playing at Juventus. He always had his back against the wall and people to question him and then to want to prove them wrong. Maybe he was like me in that sense that sometimes you need a little fire lit underneath you every time to kind of get the best out of you. And to see Balogun in the form that he's on and Haji Wright as well. There's definitely a lot of bright spots in this team, and I feel like if we can get everybody clicking at the right time, I think we could really do some damage. So I'm optimistic. It's always a half full type of person, and as long as you got a game to play and a chance to still be in it, then I'll take that any day of the week.
Amen. I will say, hearing you talk about Weston McKennie, I know Poch watches our show. Poch, I'm going to speak to the camera to you now. What you should do is threaten to sell Weston McKennie to another country, and he'll just start performing. That's what it takes. Threaten to transfer him to another nation, and Weston will be just banging in those goals, doing the Harry Potter crap, and we're going to win the bloody World Cup. Because he is that good. When Pete Weston McKennie is the kind of footballer that can enforce his will on games in the most remarkable fashion. I mean, he's a character. The person I will say who makes me most optimistic, I want to go back to one you said, and I love this man. I love his journey. I find him deeply inspirational. It is Chris Richards. One of the things that's pained me deeply about this World Cup cycle is almost none of the gents have stepped up and been able to enforce themselves as the face of this team in the wider outside the soccer bubble culture. I hope this is the face of US men's football to emerge from Alabama. SEC can. God bless Alabama. To emerge from SEC country and just surge into to Europe and fail, and then rise again, and then get yourself over to Crystal Palace. And by the way, He struggled for fitness when he arrived. He struggled for playing time. He had to find his rhythm. He found his rhythm. And then he found a mentality where he would, he found within him, he became like a big dog on that team. It didn't come naturally. It took a lot of time. And I look at him, I find him deeply inspirational. He said it all with a joy and a humility that I think our nation This is the best face of our nation in 2026. And I wish Chris so much joy, missing the last World Cup. I hope he takes every second of this one. But when I look at that face, I do feel a surging optimism. I want to take your questions. We're going to pass the Michael Bradley around in 1 second. One quick hit before we start. You ready for this, Clint? We didn't rehearse this, but I'm going to ad-lib it. I'm going to name several teams, and I want instant reaction if you'd rather have the US men's national team squad or theirs. So I'm going to name a country.
Oh, damn. You trying to get me in trouble.
Well, this is easy. We'll start with an easy one. I'm going to say a name, and you just say USA or their name again. You ready for this?
Okay.
Uzbekistan.
US.
Seattle Sounders.
US.
Colombia.
Ooh. I'm not going to go against my team, US.
Yeah, there you go. God bless. Canada.
US for sure.
Switzerland.
US.
Yeah, there you go. I like this game.
I'm not going to go against my team.
I love this. Turkey.
US for sure.
Oh, please God. Please God, then when I dream about that game tomorrow night. England. We've never lost against them, man.
It's US all
There
day.
you go. Anyway, this man scored against England in the World Cup, man. It's a joy. Robert Green never had a chance. Finally, Mexico.
US, but I think Landon might pick those.
Oh my God! Landon's other team is the United States of America. It's time for your questions. Here's how this is going to work. If you want to ask Clint and me a question, just raise your hand. The mighty Kayla will be moving around with a microphone. Let's hear it for Kayla! Anyway, I just say Kayla and Craig have put all of this together. Not just this, but every one of the 25 shows we've done this year. She is like genuinely a superhero. Thank you. Craig's in the corner. Incredible human being. Put your hand in the air if you want to ask a question. We're going to do as many of these as we can. Kayla will come in your mic. Just tell us your name, where you're from, and what's your question. We'll go for it. Let's go.
Hello there. I'm Duncan from Scotland. Eternal blue, forever too. You will always be a sounder. I have a question. When you went back to Craven Cottage at the end of your career there and you said goodbye, can you explain what that emotion felt like to the rest of us?
I mean, for me, it was like a second home, I would say, is that feeling, right? I had a lot of great memories at that stadium. One of the very first games I've ever watched professionally was there. I was watching Fulham play Liverpool, and it's funny that my first goal I ever scored was Fulham versus Liverpool at that stadium to keep them up from relegation. So it was a place that you had to earn respect, and it was not easy to get a song where people were chanting your name, but eventually I was able to make that happen over there. So, Fulham will always be a second home to me, just as, anytime you spend 5 years at a place, whether it be Seattle, whether it be Fulham, that means something. You can't really take away those years as opposed to being somewhere for 1 or 2.
You'll always be a proper football guy to me.
Thank you, sir.
Amen.
Appreciate you.
One of the joys of working with Clint is, it's a pain as well. Finding out how close he came to moving to Everton, right?
Yeah, actually, I was very close to moving to Everton. It was between Fulham and Everton. Both teams put in a bid, and Fulham, I guess, put more money in, and MLS wanted me to go there. I didn't have a choice, right? I just wanted to play in the Premier League, but I just think things in life normally happen for a reason and push you in a direction, and that's the way you go.
We'll say watching you in a Fulham jersey was one of the joys, I think, of so many American fans' life at that time. it pains me to say this, you ended up in the right place. And you made us proud. Kayla, next question.
Do I have to stand up?
You can.
No, I guess so. Okay. You've already said some of these sentiments.
Tell us your name.
Oh, Cecily. I am one of the members of Arlington Spurs that meets here. You've already said some of these sentiments, but if any of the guys on the Spurs team right now in this dire straits that we're in, what advice would you give to them in a headspace to kind of push them forward? Because I know that it's a mental battle right now. So just curious.
It's a tough one, right? I've been part of a few relegation battles. My first few seasons at Fulham was like that, and Raj knows all about relegation battles with Everton as well. You just need something to get you going, and it looked like last game that was going to be the something that got them going, and then they conceded the 96 minutes. So it's kind of back to the drawing board, and you just got to get 3 points and just build off of that and kind of get back on a wave and get some momentum going, because everybody's stressing. People are kind of second guessing themselves. Confidence is really low. You're feeling the pressure from the crowd, but if you want it, you got to go out there and prove it. So stick together and battle it out. And those are some of the best memories of my time in Europe, is staying up versus Liverpool, or Portsmouth away, Danny Murphy of all people scoring a header to keep us up from getting relegated. So hopefully there's a few more twists and turns to make for a happy ending.
I think it's beautiful, by the way. We did a live show with Everton after the Frank Lampard near-death relegation in Washington, D.C., where we lived out. Oh, thank God. I mean, it was a beautiful night, and it was hilarious. It was a show about staving off relegation as if it was a trophy. And it was. I love what you're saying, that why were some of your best. And by the way, at the end of that show, Frank Lampard let into the microphone and said, "We'll learn our mistakes. We'll never do this again." And then within like 12 games, he was gone, and Sean Dykes was our new dad. He's back. He's back. I'm happy for that man to be candid. But just explain that. It's beautiful what you've said. Some of your best memories were those battles in the darkest of times with those guys for Fulham.
Well, I think most people say that things that they work the hardest towards mean the most in the end. And you talk about earning your right to be in the Premier League, and I was never part of that promotion of being in the Championship and fighting with the team to try to get to the Premier League. So the next thing I can say that's closest to that is being a part of teams that have avoided relegation by getting those points and fighting to the end to stay up. So that's why it's special to me, because it was almost like gave me that feeling that I deserved to be in the Premier League, and that it wasn't just, how some kids are entitled and just automatically think that they should get something. You had to prove yourself. So that's kind of how I look at those two relegation battles as a positive instead of a negative.
I just want to say that you are. I want to wish every Spurs fan just joy and love. I've been there. You are the Everton of the South. I find it genuinely, humanly agonising to bear days ahead. Next question.
Hi, Clint. My name's Amanda. I'm from Arlington, but I'm a longtime Sounders fan. And my question to you is 2 parts. One, coming back to the U.S. in the later part of your career, what was it like playing for the MLS? And then what's your favorite memory as a Sounder?
Ooh, that's some really good ones. I would say it was an awesome experience coming back to the MLS and playing at Seattle. The fan base that they have, 40,000 plus at every home game, was truly special. It wasn't the best playing on turf all the time, I would say. It definitely beats up your body. But some of those teams I was a part of, winning Supporters Shield, winning U.S. Open Cup. They won the MLS Cup when I was out with my heart issues. Was happy to see them do that. But my best memories is playing with Oba, just giving and going, and creating chances for each other and knowing that I could play him, he'd score, he could find me, and just having that feeling like you're playing pickup and being a kid again. But also say playing with Ozzie Alonso, a true warrior. 16? Yes, sir. Defected from Cuba, bet on himself. When you talk about people you want to go to war with and that will fight until the end, he was one of those guys, and it was a privilege for me to play alongside him. So I would say those are some of the memories for sure.
And the fishing. Oh,
yeah, the fishing, Lake Washington. I was out there. That was fun, catching some largemouth, smallmouth bass. So,
you didn't mention the camo blazer of glory.
Oh, yeah. You know, the camo blazer, that actually is from Men in Blazers live show there. That was a gift from Raj and the crew. And it was actually the one that I wore in my first time. It was like the second time being on TV, but it was like the final of the U.S. versus Mexico. But they made me take the patch off. I couldn't wear the patch.
I thought you ripped it off.
They wouldn't let me wear it on there. So
everyone was tweeting it, being like, "Oh my God, he's wearing the camo blazer of glory."
So
and I thought you were just like, "So I've got to wear a bloody suit." Look in your wardrobe, you've got one jacket. You're like, "F that Men in Blazers badge," and there you were. You've never looked so handsome. I love that. I love what you've said about about playing with those two guys.
Yep.
They really, Uber really affected you. Huh?
Yeah, it was fun, right? You had a partner in crime, someone that was going to help make the game exciting, and the reason why we had such an exciting style to watch, I would say. It's hard with the pressure on you, knowing that, hey, you're a designated player, and if you don't do well, the team doesn't do well, it's because of you, basically. So having Oba next to me, I knew we would never not do well, because he could make something out of nothing. So it was just the energy of the crowd and the way in which we played. That was some of the funnest times in Seattle for me, for sure.
Take a couple more. There you go.
Hey, what's up? I'm John. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. So, as a Crystal Palace fan, I got a couple questions. One, you have any fun Roy Hodgson stories? And number two, are you dropping a rap track anytime soon?
Oh, hell. I'm not dropping a rap track anytime soon.
He's dropping a rap track with Roy Hodgson.
Yes.
It's going to break the internet.
Yeah, that'll be something. What I say about Roy, he always brought good energy. He was really tactically sound in terms of how he could get everybody to play and understand the style that we were going to play. And I think that's why he was so successful in terms of giving a foundation to a lot of teams, especially when they needed it the most, being in tough times, and how to bring them and put them to where they were solid in terms of being in the Premier League. But when I think of Roy, man, I think of the cold weather. I think of him wearing his long johns out there, his socks put over him, like running around, like rubbing his hands and trying to kick the ball and stuff. It was pretty funny to see.
What was that like as a professional footballer?
You're just like, what is this guy doing? Like, he literally had his like long johns underneath his like coaching attire, but like he'd wear shorts, but like you can see these like old school like long john pants. Like, it's like almost like he was in a Western back in the day. Like, that's with soccer shoes and is what he was wearing.
In England, we used to sew ourselves into our underpants when winter came.
Yeah.
You'd wear them for 5 months and just apply leeches when there was a little bit of a problem. But as a manager, like, were you just like, that's like a man who's still fighting the Germans in his imagination? Or was the part of him that was like we didn't get to see as football fans, and like behind closed doors? He was a bit of a hard man behind closed doors, wasn't he? Tough.
No, he expected a lot of you. He had a good team around him in terms of the goalkeeping coach and the fitness people and the medical staff that we had there. They made the most of what we had and kept us on the pitch and kept us playing at a high level. But just how well he had us as a team tactically and organized, and we were just a difficult team to beat. I mean, that's the reason why we got to a Europa League final. That's why we finished top 6, was the highest I think Fulham's ever finished in the Premier League when we were there. So you got to give credit when credit was due, and that's probably why you got the move to Liverpool.
Which is still my favourite Liverpool manager of all time. But by the way, what he's doing at Bristol City right now is absolutely life-affirming and ecstatic. He is just proper football. We'll take 2 more.
Yep.
Hi, Catherine from Washington.
Hi, Catherine.
Do you think that the U.S. men's team will be able to compete with Europe as long as there's an expectation that players will go to university?
Oof. As, you know, the college reality, which is changing, to be candid. I mean, it's changed when you look at our US team, there's so many of our footballers who, after 2017 or, you know, Trinidad and Tobago around that time, were already like, we've got to take our futures into our own hands and move to Europe right then and there. But you went, I mean, this is an incredible thing about this man. This man went to Furman, came out. How old were you when you came out?
I was 20.
You were 20. You know, we're looking at footballers now, 16 years old in the Premier League, 17 years old in the Premier League. You were coming in fresh when you were already 20. You know, 20 is like, in the Premier League, there's kids who are already, you know, in the peak
Late
of,
start, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a very interesting reality. Our system is evolving. The college thing is being phased out. There is a whole new reality. It's a very jerry-rigged system. But can you talk about that reality of coming out of college age 20 and trying to build a career as opposed to being 16, 17?
Yeah, you're not going to get as much time if you're 20. You're not going to get as many opportunities. With being 16, you still have the potential, right, of what you can maybe grow into and become. The difficult thing about university when I was there was the season was so small, right? And basically it's like August to like November or December, then that's your year. And then you have Christmas break, and then you try to train a little bit, and you have a little bit of a spring season, but it's just Mickey Mouse. It doesn't really matter. So when you go to the pros, a lot of players get hurt because they're not used to that workload of going, you know, hard in the paint from August until May. You had so many breaks that your body just wasn't kind of used to it. So I like that they're thinking about, and I think they're going to implement a change in the schedule for college players. I think everybody has a different route to take to get to the top. No one's is going to be just a straight line. Sometimes you got to go down some windy dirt roads and make your way back to the city, what have you, the bright lights of playing in stadiums. But I think there will always be a place for people to kind of do both. I wouldn't say that like it's necessarily the best way to do it or not. I think the most important thing is being a player that you're at a place that someone values you and has confidence in you and allows you to play your style, because that's why you love the game, is being able to do your thing and hoping that the reason why they brought you there, they're going to allow you to do that, as opposed to like bringing you there and you're someone who likes to dribble a lot and say 1 and 2 touch only. We don't want any moves. We don't want you to take anybody on. We don't want you to lose the ball ever. So for someone like that, it would be miserable to go to the team rather than, you know, adapting and learning your game and stuff like that. So look, everybody has their own path, and I'm someone who went by way of university, so maybe there might be a few more, but I wouldn't want to just say one way's never going to work. Everybody's going to have a different path, and even vice versa. You look over to players that played in England, right? By the time you're 16, 17, if you haven't made it in the reserve team, they cut you, you're done, you're off, right? And some of those players have nowhere to go except from falling from a Premier League reserve team to maybe a championship side or something like that. But you see someone like Steve Zakawani that I play with at Fulham. He went to Akron, and by way of winning a national championship there, he was able to go pro, play in Seattle. You look at Bradley Wright Phillips. There's a lot of examples of people taking different routes to go pro, right? I mean, obviously to get into Premier League and some of the top teams in Europe is the most difficult way. And normally when you get on the other side of, 22, 23, it starts to look more difficult to get to a big league like that.
Amen. I mean, by the way, what you said is beautiful. Your journey was mad. There's more journeys now. I mean, I'm thinking of Jack Harrison, was in the Manchester United academy. His mum looked at the 50 photos of every academy class, worked out that like 2 children from each class ever made even mildly pro, yanked him, sent him to a prep school in Massachusetts. Played soccer in a club, in Manhattan Soccer Club, went to NYCFC after Wake Forest, and then finally made his Premier League team dream come true with Leeds and then the greatest club in the world, Everton Football Club. I do hope, Miguel Almiron coming over here and, going from Atalanta to Newcastle. I long for a day when this nation plays just an incredible role in manifesting elite footballers bouncing off into the Premier League. May that happen more. It is coming. Amen. It's coming. Let's have one more question. Make it a great one. Let's end the night on a great note. No pressure. Bangers only.
Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Seth. I'm from Alabama originally, along with Chris Richards, and I'm with Chris Palace DC. So between the national team and Fulham and Seattle, you've had a lot of diverse environments that you've played in. What has been the best atmosphere you've ever played in as a player?
I mean, for me, it's got to be the first World Cup game that I played in against Italy in Germany in 2006. We ended up tying them in that game, and I wouldn't say necessarily atmosphere, but just the occasion, right? As a kid, I dreamed about playing in the World Cup, and to play against the team that went on to be the champions, and we tied them in that game, and then the next game, obviously, I would say up there as well, because my first goal I ever scored in a World Cup. But for me, more so than anything, I would say representing your country was always so special to me. But in terms of the crazy situations and big nights, I mean, maybe the chip versus Juve to get us to the semifinal of the Europa League. In terms of intimidating places, I would say Azteca, but back in the day, before they did the renovation. You go to Azteca now, and it looks way different than my first encounter there. Just people on top of you. It looked like things could go crazy real quick. Now you look and you see all this nice boxes and everything like that. It's not as intimidating as it once was. But yeah, those are some memories I think back on for sure.
In the Premier League, what was the best stadium?
Oh, it's got to be Craven Cottage, man.
Second best stadium.
Second best. I mean, I always thought it was really cool playing at Anfield. And hearing the fans sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and it was just, I was a big Stevie G fan, and going up against him was always real cool. I mean, playing at all the big stadiums. I mean, Manchester United. I mean, back in the day when they had Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs and Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo and Vidic and Rio Ferdinand and Patrice Evra, I mean, when I was in the Premier League, man, it was so fun playing against some of these teams, man. I mean, Chelsea, all the players they had, Drogba, Lampard, Peter Cech, Ashley Cole. I mean, there was seemed like every game you played was huge, especially when you played against the top 4, top 5 teams. It was always, that's the reason why you're there. You wanted to have those moments to score against them or to beat those teams.
God. By the way, I loved what you just said. Your response was that first World Cup game. It's a beautiful way to close. It's about this moment, this nation, this opportunity, really. I mean, ultimately, can you just point towards what did it feel like? You're in that tunnel. You're about to walk out against it. What were you telling yourself in your own head? You, this kid from Nacogdoches, Texas, about to play the Italian team, the stuff that dreams are made of, making your dream come true.
It's funny you say the word dream, and you talked about the dream that you had of us losing. Because the night before I played in that game, I mean, I was told I was going to start, and I had a dream that I played, and I did terrible, right? I was like, I can't have this happen. The good thing it was a dream, but I still have time. I still have kind of was it Scrooge on Christmas? I still have time to change things. And I mean, I just remember finding peace in the fact that, look, you can only go out there and try as hard as you can, control what you can control, but go out there and don't have any regrets. Like, take risk and try stuff, work hard, get stuck in, and like going up against Totti, like that was. You had the opportunity to play against big-time players and express yourself on the world stage. And I knew I was starting in that game, whereas like the U20 World Cup, I got to play in, but I hardly played at all. Like maybe it was a sub and only subbed me in a game that we already were winning, and I played like 10 minutes, and Thomas Ryan's like, go out there and do some moves. And then that's it. That's all I want you to do. Whereas like this, I'm like, you're in there 90 minutes potentially. I ended up, getting subbed around the 75th or something like that. But like, I got the opportunity to start in a World Cup match and to play against one of the best countries in the world, and we were able to draw that game. So that's always special to me.
Okay, what a note to end on. I mean, there's two things there. Don't you always wonder what the coach is whispering in the players' ear when they're about to substitute, and you think it must be like incredibly complex tactical information, and instead they're just like, go and do some moves. America. You're wondering why, like, the game's going on. Clint's like doing the worm.
What do you think Michael Carrick's?
I do want to say that's a beautiful note to end on. We're about to end with a really beautiful moment of magic for me. Clint and I are going to join Dave Cahill and unveil. It's a beautiful piece of neon. It is. By the way, I forged and crafted that neon myself in my own kitchen. I've worked very hard on this. But to me, it's a beautiful thing. It's a symbol of the community that you guys have built, the hard work that Dave and his team have put in. Every single memory that you've made in this spot, we're going to celebrate when we do this in just one moment. I find it incredibly moving to do this. In all sincerity, I really do. To be with you tonight for both Clint and me is a really beautiful thing. It's like a positive, joyful moment to bond and prepare for all that is to come together. We're going to also pass out some Michelob Ultras so we can take this out. So do not go anywhere. We're going to be out in one moment. Before we do, I just want to thank Clint. I love every single... I'm a very dark man. I want to say I'm closing tonight feeling better about life and about the future and about this US team than I did before, which I think is why we do this. You are my favourite player to have ever represented the US men. You are. You know you are. But, the tenacity, the ferocity, the never say die, the never give up, all of it that you embody, I think is still the best of us in every single regard. That's what gives us optimism. That is what gives us hope. I wrote a book and the publisher was like, on the cover, what jersey do you want to wear? What jersey brings you the best memories? I was like, in a second, I was like, Clint Dempsey, 2014.
There we go.
Look at that. Hairline of Bob Bradley. Jersey of Clint Dempsey. What a combination. So we're going to come out in one moment, but let's hear it. Four courts. Say it for Clint Dempsey.